Welcome to another character profile. Today I'm going to discuss a character who sits up there with Pac-Man as one of the most famous arcade creations of all time, Donkey Kong. He's also one of the rare video game characters to have gone from being a villain to a hero all in the span of a decade. Donkey Kong made his debut in his 1981 arcade game, which was Nintendo's first big success story as they wanted to have a major international hit for years, and it was this clever concept of a barrel-throwing gorilla that did the trick. The unusual name came from the stubbornness of a donkey and the Japanese word for gorilla, Kong. The object of the game is to play as Jumpman, trying to rescue his girlfriend Pauline, who Donkey Kong has kidnapped and taken to the top of a construction site. You have to avoid the barrels and other obstacles that are thrown at you. Despite its major difficulty, Donkey Kong proved to be an instant success, as more and more people started breaking their piggy banks to attain quarters to play the game over and over again. I would give a full opinion on the game, but to be perfectly honest, I'm absolutely terrible at it. I can handle Pac-Man, Space Invaders, and Tetris, but on Donkey Kong, let's just say I'm no Billy Mitchell. The timing has to be almost exact, especially in jumping over the barrels, and as hard as I try, I cannot make it past level 3 at the most. The arcade game, meanwhile, provided the basis for an animated segment on the Saturday Supercade cartoon show, which differs wildly from the arcade game. Throughout the 1980s, Donkey Kong continued his popularity, but as Super Mario got his own game series, it was about time the same happened with his former pet gorilla. In 1994, the Super Nintendo game Donkey Kong Country was released to instant success. For this game, he then became the hero of the story, as you controlled Donkey Kong through his island to get his bananas from the evil crocodile King K. Rool. He is also joined by his new sidekick Diddy Kong, who you can alternate with. With its state-of-the-art graphics and unique gameplay, it's actually quite fun to play through, but it does get extremely frustrating at times. I'm looking at you minecart level I had to play over 50 times before I managed to beat it. Though, as I play the game, I'm still struggling to get past the penultimate level. It's really frustrating. Continuing that combination of enjoyment and frustration were the two sequels, which gave you new characters to control. They're fun after a while, and there's certainly a sense of accomplishment when getting past especially challenging levels. But there is a point in each Donkey Kong Country game where I just say, I'm done. In Donkey Kong Country 2, it was that damn giant wasp boss battle. And in Donkey Kong Country 3, it was that ridiculously hard level with the lightning bolts. Looking up videos of it on YouTube, it astounds me that anyone is able to pass that. I've honestly tried to pass the lightning bolt level over 100 times, and I barely even get past the checkpoint. So either I'm really bad at Donkey Kong Country 3, or that level is legitimately difficult and only professionals can beat it. Donkey Kong later got a game on the Nintendo 64, appropriately named Donkey Kong 64. Though I would have preferred a similar style to Super Mario 64, it has its fun elements to it, especially when it comes to climbing trees and shooting coconuts. That said, I did get rather tired of it after a while.
Each game has better graphics, more moves, bigger bosses, huge worlds. It's so big we included an expansion pack to get it all in. They didn't even tip me! And now, this. Donkey Kong 64, and you thought insanity was crazy.
Heaven help us all.
In the mid-90s, Nelvana produced an animated series also called Donkey Kong Country, which is actually pretty state-of-the-art for being one of the first computer-animated television shows. On the scripting and voice acting side, it was pretty stupid. I actually admit to watching it when I was younger, but looking at it as an older person, it comes off as even more stupid than before. The storylines were silly, but it could get away with that. However, they felt the need to have some insipid songs, which just makes one want to roll one's eyes. I've seen worse animated shows, but this is still a stupid show, despite me enjoying it in my youth. As for DK's more recent games, I haven't really played them, including the latest one, Donkey Kong Country Returns, for the Wii. It's interesting to see Donkey Kong evolve, and even though his games are incredibly challenging, that has not stopped their funness. And now I end off with this question. With Donkey Kong now being a hero, is he on good terms with Mario, since they usually go-kart, golf, and play tennis together? It's always perplexed me as to why Mario continually plays sports with his enemies. I mean, I don't play tennis with my enemies. Most of the time, anyway.